Hello, here is part 5 of what I learned at an HBCU and since then. Today I will be answering questions that I have been getting in the comments and sharing other things that I have learned from and since attending an HBCU. The biggest problem that I see is that people think it's okay to be colorblind. In a perfect world it would be, but the world that we're in, we can love everyone, but we need to realize that we don't all have the same experience. So when something happens, I just talk to them like I would talk to the old version of myself, and it's mostly about educating people and giving examples of the things that I have seen firsthand. And my friends and family feel comfortable coming to me with questions, and they know that I want to help them understand things better. So now I want to give you an example of something that I did that was racist, that I didn't understand was racist at the time. And it was when I was in one of my social work classes. I absolutely loved one of my teachers. She was smart, beautiful, confident, and a great teacher. And we had to write papers on different topics, and the one that I had was alcoholism and the Native Americans. And so now remember, this was before the internet, so the only way to do research was to find books about the topic. And at that time I was terrible at doing this, and the library gave me a stomachache. Somehow I found some books. I don't think the card catalog helped me. I think I had to ask for help. And the next step was to find important information in those books. And I was never good at finding the important stuff. After a lot of practice and with the internet, I'm really good at it now, but back then I was terrible. So back then, every single sentence in every single book seemed like it was supposed to be important. Like, why wouldn't it be in there if it's not important? And I just did not know how to summarize paragraphs. I would just change words around in a sentence to make the sentence a little bit different. Did any of y'all do that? And this was about 30 years ago, so I have no idea what I wrote, thinking that the books that I used were probably biased and presented information in a statistical way that showed Native Americans in a negative way. It was probably statistics of the percentage of alcoholics or something like that, and not considering all the trauma they went through being at the residential schools or the boarding schools, being survivors after encountering a lot of abuse. I didn't even know what residential or boarding schools were back then, and if I had learned about it at my very white school, it would have probably said that they were there to help the Native Americans, and that's a very white supremacist / racist thing to say, because there was so much abuse and so many died and were put in unmarked graves, as we've seen over the past few years, especially in Canada and here. I just want to take a minute to say how thankful I am for all the Native American TikTokers that I have been following for the last few years. They're from Canada, the US, Mexico, Central and South America, and I've learned so much from them. Before my ancestors arrived, they were already here being amazing stewards of the land, living in harmony with nature, and I really respect them. I think I'll put a bunch of my favorite Native American teachers and historians up at the end of this video so that you can follow them on TikTok if you'd like. So back to the paper that I was working on. I had no idea how I finished the paper, but whatever I wrote really upset my teacher, and that really upset me because I really looked up to her. And you know how they say that you might not remember what a person says, but you remember how they make you feel? I can't remember exactly what she said to me, but I will never forget how ashamed and embarrassed I felt. I was confused because I had just gotten that information from a book, so I thought it should be okay. I asked her what was wrong, and she didn't even want to talk to me. I didn't understand that books could be biased at the time. I didn't understand that most of us only learned history through one lens, one perspective. And this is what really bothers me about some people not wanting teachers to teach true history from many perspectives today. Looking back, I understand why she probably didn't want to talk to me. There's probably a lot to unpack, and there probably wasn't time to do that since we were in class. And I wish I could go back and read what I wrote. And also I wish I could go back and apologize to her for my ignorance. I recently read a quote that resonated with me, and it's, "A mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant." And my teacher's disappointment in me really made me want to learn and grow. She's a part of the reason why, as long as my brain is working, I'm dedicated to learning every single day. I really never expected that the FAMU collection of TikToks would go viral here on YouTube. I posted them a few years ago, so I thought nobody was ever going to see them. But I've been judged harshly based on what people learned about only a few minutes of my life. Many of the comments I received have been understanding of where I came from and how I have learned and grown. Other comments have been critical and I try to learn from them. And some have just been ugly or inappropriate, so those are the only ones that I will delete. I will keep the critical ones there because I'm hoping other people will learn from my mistakes or my flaws. So I guess what I have learned in the past few weeks is that we really can't judge people from their past. And we shouldn't really judge them based on their present. We can look at the whole picture by seeing where they came from, what challenges they encountered, how they handled the challenges, what they learned, how it made them a better person or a bitter person. I know I'm just trying to be better one day at a time. And thanks for being with me on my journey. Thanks for watching. And if you have any other comments or questions or anything, please leave them in the comments. And please give me a like if you like what I shared today, and subscribe if you want to see more. And remember, in order to empathize with someone's experience, you must be willing to believe them as they see it and not how you imagine their experience to be. And a mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. Here are my favorite Native American TikTok creators. Have a great day, and I love you all. Also, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and I will not be celebrating Independence Day because, in my opinion, not all of us are free at the moment. And also, I'm not going to celebrate stolen land. So I'm going to dedicate tomorrow to learning more about the land back movement and just studying history.